Well, the one all stained glass is double strength, eighth of an inch.
Yeah.
16th is just thin window glass.
Yeah.
It's for cutting. If to learn to cut on glass, clear window strength glass is de rigueur. It's the standard. It's pretty soft glass. It's commercial. You know, if you can't cut clear double strength, you can't cut anything. So I'm going to show you on double strength, and I want to watch you guys also cut on double strength. And I'm going to here's a, for first for starters, if you're especially at all if you're starting out and you have a sheet you want to you always separate what you need. So you're like, if you have a complicated thing, you're not going to go into this and end up with a run that wrecks your sheet. So we'll sequester your sheet for straight. Usually you like a bigger version of this. These are ideal. That's a commercial thing, but I didn't bring my larger one. I'm using this. But your deal on this, okay, I'm going to use your barrel thing. When you're cutting, glass, stay close to your bottom. You're not up here. This is like, think of it like riding a bicycle. You've lost your balance up here. You want low down, close to the ground on all that stuff. Contact to the sheet. You hold this, I guess, like a pencil, kind of. See, and you don't go on the edge of the sheet. You don't unnecessarily you don't dull the cutter. Just start slightly inside. For anything straight, probably it'll run. See how my finger is against here? My fingers are against here. It's again like a three-legged bicycle or something. You got your stuff down so you have contact with the sheet. Low down is good. I'm pushing against this a little bit. With this dang thing, I have to make sure my hand's not in the way so I don't bump it as I run down here. You don't want strong pressure, especially when you guys have new cutters. Push soft if you can. If you start seeing these little flakes of glass, you're pushing too hard. And so that's most people push too hard at the beginning. On long straight cuts, when you're out here and you're trying to cut a sheet like this, like a 4-foot sheet or something, you can't push as hard out here as you can down here. So people instinctively have less pressure here than here. And by the time you're down here, you're pushing hard because you want the damn thing to work. And so what happens is where you change the pressure is usually where it breaks wrong. Particularly if you start it down here, it's like a railroad train, tracks strong as hell here. By the time you're up here, you're thinner. So it always usually in the middle goes whoop like that. So for a long straight cut, particularly when you're not so sure, I'll show you a good way, unless you're tiny little things. See, I'm inside the sheet a little bit. Okay, I start right inside. See how I'm against here? Okay, I'm going to just pull straight. On any kind of transparent glass, you'll often hear a hiss. You won't hear hisses on the opalescent glass. Yeah. You'll hear it on transparent. Again, I'm not pushing too hard. You notice how you don't have to go fast. You pretend the sheet goes on forever. That's why you don't change your pressure. Don't anticipate your end. Run off the end. You guys are going to be, I cut on just straight. I have a 4x8 sheet of what's it called? Sheetrock. That's what I use to cut on, and that's what I use to lead on. My surface, I just got one table of sheetrock on it, do everything on it. It's lovely to have this because of chips. You do get little flaking, and of course, you run your clear glass on it. You got a little chip on it. You hear that sound? You've scored your glass. You got a scar on it.
Do you ever use a strip cutter?
No, I don't. I cut everything by hand, but you certainly can, especially if you want to set up. You got 800 quarter-inch things. Boom, boom, boom. You're set up for cutting exactly the same. Yeah, strip cutter is great for that instead of measure every damn time. But now, see, particularly on this thing, see, I think actually it's such a sharp cutter. I even have a little flaking, even though there's a little flake. I can see little flakes of it. So I cut a little too hard.
You should have no flake at all.
No flake at all shows ideal, but it's okay. And so now, what happens now? See, if person's at all nervous, you didn't cut over a long length, which is problem. Even me here, I'm sure my pressure is lighter out here than here. To start here is risking that you have too much change. So the best way to do it, if you have any amount of glass, is just come to the slight inside, not outside. You've made a tiny little V in the surface of this 1/8 inch. The whole idea is to get that V to go all the way through. That's what you're doing. All this procedure is to take the little tiny valley you cut out of the top of the glass and make it run all the way through. That's how you get your glass. So you come slightly inside there, and always with glass, when you're trying to get your piece, just hang on to the glass. You'll never cut yourself if you just hang on to the glass. You know, when I was first started, I was so scared I'd cut myself every time as I'm working this. Just hang on to the glass and you'll be fine. Just stay in contact with the glass. I'm slightly inside. All you have, yeah, stay with it. It loves you if you love it. So just stay slightly inside and just lift up and come down. And what that does is exerts pressure on this crack all the way along. And so change in pressure here, no problem, because it wants to run simultaneously from every single part. So this is the best way to do it for straight cuts if you're unsure of your pressure. If you can pull it to the edge, slightly inside, and just come up then, and then you know, and it just, there it is. You've got your thing off to the side. Yeah. And
a smaller piece of glass, is it still the same?
Well, I'll show you here. I'll show you on this. Now we'll do that. Straight cut on a small piece of glass. Yeah, so once again here, straight cut on a small piece. All right, so same deal, you know, on this thing I have to make sure bumping into your hand is the biggest problem as you run.
Are you using oil in your cutter?
Always, yeah, see, there's oil in the cutter. There's oil-fed cutters. Back when I started, it was Fletcher Terry, you know, they didn't have these oil-fed cutters.
I don't use it.
Did you hear the little hiss there?
Yeah, I go back and forth on. Sometimes it's more of a pain for me.
And of course, you understand, never go over your score. If you're nervous, you dull the cutter faster than heck by doing that. Go slightly a zillionth of an inch to the side.
Well, and it usually confuses the glass too when you like make a double cut.
When you have a small little thing you're going to pull off, don't do it in the middle to do it, because when you do that, what happens is you just score out around this thing. You want to start the run down here and assume again that here's where you just trust that you did an even enough cut. You may not get the whole thing. You might, you probably will. But see, and once again, you come slightly inside the score. And this is again like your fingers going like this. You're taking the tiny little channel, you're opening it up. So then you go inside with these. Then these are the pliers to use for that. These are your good breaking pliers. These things are more you know, these things are more the ones for gnawing at, you know, trying to get a little edge off like that. Just sort of like grabbing at it here and see, look at all this crap here. But so in this case, keep your table clean. See, with my sheetrock, you really got to keep it clean, or I'd scratch the glass every time I make it. Come slightly inside. Don't start right on the edge. Slightly inside. Come close to it, and then just bend down. Just come down, and you made it go all the way through. See, and even there, just tiny little bit. I missed it a tiny little bit at the top there. Just probably because.
That way than cut in.
Would you not use running pliers, or do you not use them?
For this?
That's super long.
Oh, for the running pliers, yeah. Again, the running pliers is these things are they're better if you got plate glass sort of stuff. Thick glass is harder to cut. 1/8 of an inch is easier to cut than 1/4 inch thick. Thicker the glass, harder it is to cut. The running pliers are perfect for 1/4 inch stuff.
Okay.
And yes, you can use it. In this case, see, the running pliers can't do that small. You've got, because of the way they're bent, they're pressure here and pressure here. They curve. So it's like, again, your fingers going like that. So the running pliers would have to be inside there if you have your score here. You can use that. I only use these more for plate glass. I just find that this is so useful for all that stuff. So that's for the straights. And now for the curves.
Dick, what is your thought on wearing safety glasses when you do this?
Well, I have regular glasses all the time. You know, the time that you get little chips flying in your face is if you have your grinder. The grinder right up here with the blade thing going around, and you're taking it there and grinding it up. That's the only time you can get chipping that I've seen. I never get chipping from this.
Really?
You never. The chips can't get up here. You're up here. It's down there. No, there's no way to. There's no way it flies unless you throw it on the ground in frustration. Maybe it'll. That's it. That's the only way it's going to fly. And so, no.
You mentioned this already, but is there a face of the glass you want to
No, on the double strength, it's only flash glass, which is a super fancy glass. Always cut on the non-flash side because the flash glass is a tiny little bit of color with everything else is the clear, and you want to cut through the clear, not the tiny little bit of the actual color.
Is
So
any of this flashed?
yeah, some of it's flash. You just have to look on it, but.
On the flat side, not the textured side, right? Or is that what you do?
Yeah.
Usually, you see, all glass, especially texture glass, always has a bumpy side and a flat side. Like I'm going to cut this right now. See, this is a smooth side. You always cut. Don't cut on the bumpy side. Yeah, yeah. Okay, same deal now. See, no, I'm not. Let's say I'm going to cut number 4.
Did it work?
Now, number 4.
That's what I thought.
If you start out, you guys, if you start out, if you're not sure about it, it's really good. You want to be comfortable all the way through the cut. Anytime you're doing it, pushing away, cut curves pushing away. Pull toward you for straights, cut pushing away, you go like that for curves. And so, I mean, you can cut straight this way, but straight instinctively is this way. Curves are push away from you. And so, in this case, see, if you're not sure, I mean, if I start down here, maybe I'd be great out here for the right down this part, but down here I'm very uncomfortable. So sometimes if you're not sure for it, just position your body and see and just sort of mentally go through it so that you feel you're comfortable all the way through your curve. That's important so you don't end up out here trying to get the dang thing to work. So be aware of that where you are. You're all the way through the cut. So then you start on this side and see on this thing going away. Let's see. Straight, I was doing this. See, and notice again, dragging like a 3-legged thing. You drag your finger on the glass. Stability, so you're not doing this. Going away, same deal. You can stay like that, only this time put your finger here on this side to help guide. And you have total control over this thing as you guide. So you go along like this. See, and again, I start on the inside. I don't start out here. You don't need to do that at all. You start and see, then I'm going along and see, you can just see it. You're trying to fall along the outside, the 1/16 of an inch to allow for a channel in your cane. And there you go. Then you come on up. Okay. Now in this case, I can see. Well, can I? No, I can't. Ooh. Can you? I can't. So I sometimes do this. Here's where you're going to do a little bit of tapping. We don't tap unless we need to. Tapping your glass is like punching somebody in the face. Let's see. I need my Fletcher, huh?
You have to do it almost just as hard too.
Yeah. Excuse me. I need to find my Fletcher Terry. I don't know. I didn't. I thought I had it together, but as usual, I don't have it together. This is all they had. They had no oil field. This is what all the professionals use. Yeah. Amateurs and professionals. And see, they had the little groovies in there for grinding. That's the na. But the balls are so useful for this. I still have my old Fletcher Terrys. So now, see how okay, to tap out, curves you tap out. And so you don't tap. Remember, you made the tiny little score, and you're trying to get the score to widen all the way through. You're going to flip it over and work from the back because you're going to try to get that tiny little crack to go all the way through. Pressure of your thumb is the most important part, not the tapping. When you do tap, the tap again is like a punch in the face. You do that just to accent the push of the finger, but more than the tapping, the push of the finger is the pressure that makes the whole run want to go. Think of it like a railroad track. Go to the worst part of the railroad track and move toward the easy part. So you tap out the hard part first. So see right here, the inside of the curve is probably right here is the hardest part of this. So I push right on the score, not on this side. You're encouraging it to run the wrong way if you do that, right on the score. And then once your finger's pushing down, tap like that. And you can see it just wants to run. And it's the pressure of the finger more than the tap. If I just did that and tap like this, you might get it to run here. It'll probably even chip the glass a little bit as you're banging away. You often chip the glass a little bit. And the edge can be a little tough as they approach the edge. Again, as you approach the edge, if you're not sure, just pressure of your finger right on the score, not off on either side, and then you just sort of tap, and you can see it runs all the way. You can watch the run. See, and there you go. That's your.
Cool, Nick.
That
Huh?
was cool.
It's so great.
Well, again, the pressure. Everybody bangs. You hear them banging away at it. It's the pressure of the thumb or your finger that's the important part. The actual punch in the face is just telling the glass really who's boss once you've got the pressure on it.
And how much pressure would you say you're exerting?
You know, as much as you're comfortable with. You don't need uncomfortable. Nothing like this. But you know, just the pressure just is and the more severe the curve, the harder it is in a way. Okay, now I'm going to cut one of these more insidey thingies here. Here we go. I'll do this now. This one. All right. See on this, like here, no, to cut this. This is the most difficult cut right here, and so to usually to sequester the field, if you have a difficult cut here, see. Let's see, am I on the right side? Nope. See, I was going to cut on the wrong side. Ooh. Flip her back. Flip her back. And so, see, on this is the smooth side. And then I would, I would sequester this thing if I want to cut that, and just maybe take the easy thing first. So go like that first, just to make sure you've sort of not going to screw up the rest of your sheet. So you just would sort of go like that. And then just sort of like that. And then, again, you can flip that over, push in the middle, right where, and then, you got yourself this now.
Why did you flip it over?
Again, remember you made a tiny little crack. Think of it as a sheet as a glass, and you've made a tiny little channel in the glass. That's what this thing is, makes a tiny little groove in it. Your tip here.
So you're always putting the pressure on the opposite side that you
Yes,
put the groove into,
because see,
so that
just think about it.
together.
It's like a teeter.
Yeah.
If you're breaking a stick, if you cut the top of the stick a little bit and you break it over your knee, where you want to just get that cut to go all the way through. It's like you're cutting into wood. You could snap the wood. If you flip it over, if you don't, if you're bending and you're going down like this, and so in a sense, when you flip it over and do that, you're trying to get that crack to come all the way up and through. In a sense, if you hit it right on the little channel, you're not doing much. It's working just much better from the back. Anyway, let's see. How did I do this? What was I doing? Was this it? This was it. Okay, was this it?
I don't know.
What'd I do?
Cut the straight outside.
Oh, there it is. Here we are. Yeah, see. So that's also, I get confused easy, so it's lovely if you do that, and then you know where everything is as you're working. These things are so useful for marking the glass. Okay, now on this one here then, inside scores, you're going to again follow, but see, and think your way all the way through. To do this complex a curve, you can just sequester it and do part of it, like we'll do this part right here first. See, so here I am. Notice how this thing is on the guide to help me here. I'm down low. I'm dragging my fingers. Here we go. We're coming around. This is inside. Here's where you go slow, but keep going. Try not to stop. And then you just come on down here like that. Okay, I'll just do, if it was a more deep inside, I'd even do it more. In this case, you don't care about this. You're trying to get this piece out, we'll say. So then you can easily just do lighter, sort of more shallow cut-ins like that. This works for as deep an insert as you want to go, and like that. So I actually have 3 scores here now. And of course, I can't ever see them once I get going. So here, so I will mark it just so you want to tap right on. Remember, don't tap on the edge. You just encourage it to break wrong. So there I am. There's where my scores are. And so I go for the worst one first, because you want this glass. So you pressure right on the worst part. See? See, you can just see there it goes. The railroad train's headed that way. A little bit this way, but not much. There you go, like that, like this. But see, and then so what happens is on a deep inside cut, you've started your score on the deepest part. Then you come back to the more shallow ones, and you tap the shallow ones out. This one's going to come out easy, but you tap the shallow ones out, and like it's like gnawing away. See, this one here. So you know, and then in this case, it just banged away too much on it and didn't get it all. But at a certain point when it started, you can also come over and just pull it away. Again, slightly inside, go like that. Slightly inside, go like that. And then you know, in this case, this is number 2. What we did. I lost it here because I just
Why'd
got.
you bother breaking those pieces if they were discarded, just to show us the snapping?
Just to show you for deep inside cuts. I didn't need to do it. I got it right away. In fact, I only broke it wrong because I just was trying to show you those. But do that when you're doing, if you're doing a really deep cut like this, you can't usually get it the first thing. The glass holds it in too tight. So you have to like cut shallow to get to it. And so, but anyway, so you see, I did that part, and then I just come, and I'm going to do the other part. You can, again, just, there's no real rules. Again, I could just do that to get rid of that little part. Then I come here, and just, when you go around the corner, if you cannot stop and just keep going slowly, that's ideal. Sort of stopping, you sometimes might skip. You don't exactly start. So if you can go, the hard part, if you can just keep moving, however slow you do it, you're in better shape. Now see, if you're not, this has got not too good to tap because it's just you're too close to the edge already. So then you come along with these little guys right here, and you know, you pull that off like that. Now this one's going to be a little tough because it might not want to go all the way through. See, I gave myself a tough one right at the end because it wants to run straight. It'll come like this and go woo instead of going like that. And so I'll just try. Let's see what happens. Yeah, see, it runs wrong right there. But you know, your corner edge would hide that anyway. You wouldn't even see it. There's your lead line. That's why you have a lead line. And see, they think of it as so exact. Your lead line hides all kinds of sins that you didn't quite get underneath.
Old search windows are all
Huh?
chipped away. When you open up the old search windows, they're all chipped away like little mice ate at that.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, you have a
There you
little
go.
error.
So does this all make sense to you guys? There's how you do curves. There's how you push away for curves, pull for straights. So I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'm gonna have you all. I'd like to all, each of you. I don't know. You what? Maybe the easiest is everybody goes about their business. I grab you one at a time and watch you.
Yeah.
Because I want to watch you. Yeah.
Can you just go over how you hold the pistol grip for those of us
Oh yeah, the
who-
pistol grip. I use pistol grip now because again my hand aches, and so for pistol grip, yeah, for pistol grip here.
I'm free.
Yeah.
Which kind of
For pistol grip, see, I do the same thing for going away. You just grab it like this. Always, this down here is important. It gives you total control on where you're going.
Okay, yeah.
And so, you know, I go as low. Obviously, if you go too low, you can't even get the thing, the wheel to get on it. But you go as low as you can, so you're close to the surface. See, my hands are being dragged on the glass all this time. You don't want to be up. The more you're up here, that's stupid. It's not helping you at all. And so, see, so here you go. See, here I am, and then you're shoving away like this. I'll go like this here, right now. I'll go there. See, I'll go over like that. And so, see, all right. So here I am. I go like this. I went like that. I go like that. So now I got this complicated deal here. So what I do is, you start the worst part. See how you're just following it? You can stay, I stay behind it with pressure of my finger as I run, and see how you can just see the score running. And just push. This is what's doing it. Aha, see how that runs toward the end, but I had already nicely tapped out a bit of this because it would have been danger for it to want to go straight across this thing. Then you come on back, tapping here. Okay, here I come. You can see the little train track going there, right there. There it is. Woo! We got her all the way here. Look at that, huh? Yeah. A little bit tap, tap, tap. Woo! Huh? Yeah, at the very end, again, the glass, especially for a complicated thing, wants to stay together, and so you can just sort of gently. This is not banging at it. Just come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. You want to be a part, and so you can also, by the way, if that's happening, and in complex inside curves, it really doesn't want to come apart. Flip it over and push on the front side too. It just encourages that break that's mostly all the way through to really separate. But again, light tapping, never over to the side, which just encourages it to break wrong. Okay, does that make sense?
Would you mind holding it once more?
Yeah, this
so
one?
I can see the angle that you're holding it
Yeah,
while you
shallow, the most shallow that you're comfortable with. Again, the contact is shallow with the sheet. So like on this, on the pulling toward you stuff with the straight edge, here we are again. See, like this, I'm down low. My fingers are low on the glass. I'm not up here floating around. That's for boating. And so you have to be down here and see, and so you just are as low down as you can and comfortable. And you notice I'm still holding on to this back down here. So I'm not having to do any of this.
So
Like
your
whatever's
fingers are
comfortable.
on the glass, all four of them?
In this case, my fingers are on the glass for straight cutting. When you can't put all your fingers on the glass for pushing away, you got to be a little higher in the air. But then again, for pushing away, you got your other finger helping you guide around any curve you want. In this case, you don't need that. You do have to stay against this, so you're aware of that. And so as you come, you're just pulling slowly. Doesn't have to go fast. You can hear the hiss. And then you're down here like that. And this is, this would not work to try to snap this off that method with the sequester, the thing. You have to come along and that tiny little score, you're going to try to break it like that. So you come with this, not out here again, back here. I could probably try this. You guys were talking about this. This will probably work here. You're on exactly both sides of this. And then you push down and it goes that way.
For running pliers, you put the score in the center of them?
See the thing right there?
Yeah.
And again, the running pliers are basically just a little smiley face. So it's like, so the thing pressures are on the corner. It's equivalent to the thumbs going like this. Or this thing. I like this. I hardly ever use that except for plate. But I like this. This thing, you can grab this, you can grab that. And always stay inside.
Yeah.
Don't go right on the cut or beyond it. You got to be on this side of the cut because you want this piece to come off. Does that make all sense? Okay. Yeah. You're welcome. And so now, whoever wants to start first.
I'll go first.
Okay.